At the Emergency Response Fund, ERF, in Colombia, we believe in numbers. We believe in the way they accurately depict life, in their inescapable sense of reality. But we especially believe in numbers because they tell stories. They tell us of a country, Colombia, that has made huge breakthroughs, but still faces plenty of challenges. For example, they tell us of a nation that suffered the displacement of at least 345,000 people between the end of 2012 and the end of 2014. That witnessed 1.4 million people facing mobility restrictions and access constraints between early 2013 and the end of 2014. That suffered 30,000 landmine and unexploded ordnances, incidents and accidents between 1990 and 2014. And that between November 2012 and March 2014 saw that 4 out of every 10 victims of explosive devices were civilians, 37% of which were children and adolescents. As if that weren't enough, numbers tell us of a country that must constantly deal with relentless natural disasters, all of which left 1.1 million people affected between October 2013 and October 2014. But even though numbers and their stories speak volumes of the Colombian tragedy and its aftermath, they can also register the extent of our hope. While they portray the ordeal of 6 towns in Arauca department torn down by flooding, they also tell us of the 2 windmills we built, as well as the 187 people from the Hitnu indigenous communities benefiting from them. While they register the tragedy of 7 mass displacements that resulted in more than 2,000 IDPs in the Catatumbo region, the numbers also tell us the stories of 30 rural schools where we guaranteed the right to education for more than 2,300 children and adolescents. Even though numbers can convey the tragedy of 4 mass displacements and 1,558 people displaced by hostilities between the guerrillas and the army in Guapi during 2014, they can also depict the impact of the mobile shelter we built, ready to host up to 200 people and safeguard them as part of one big family. But at the end of the day, at the ERF, we believe in numbers because we know it is time they start telling new stories. Stories of tenacity and resilience. Let them talk about a coherent and efficient operation, built upon projects 100% based on local needs, 100% compliant with international standards, and 100% monitored and audited. Let them record the 46 emergencies we have responded to since 2010, as well as our capacity as the only rapid response fund to do it in as little time as 25 working days. Let them attest the nearly $9 million directly invested in field projects, the commitment of our team and the NGOs we finance, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But above all, we want the numbers to tell the stories of the 40,000 Afro-Colombians, the 50,000 indigenous people, the 60,000 women, the 50,000 men and the 90,000 girls, boys and adolescents that have been able to overcome their circumstances thanks to the ERF. Let them speak for the 200,000 human beings that have been able to rewrite their destiny. Let them tell the story of 200,000 Colombians that can now make the difference. ERF Fund. Help our numbers tell new stories.